hey, do you sell a product or a service online and you gather reviews for that product or service and you wonder how you can best capitalize on them? In this video, I'm going to extend on a video that my good friend Gareth Pronovost over at Gap Consulting created, where he showed how to use Airtable to automate the collection of your reviews. In this video, I'm going to extend that, and I'm going to show you how to take those reviews, run them through a process, and post them to social media. I'll put a link to Gareth's video in the description below, but in this video, what we're going to look at is using ChatGPT to take those reviews and synopsize them, and then using Bannerbear, generate a very specific image for that review with that review embedded on a template, and then take that image and pass it through to Buffer to then post it to our social media. We could use a number of different tools to do this. I'm going to use Zapier, Bannerbear, and Buffer to do our automations. So let's dive right in. Okay, so here's our Airtable. We have in this Airtable, we have a simple reviews base. This is based on Gareth's video. You can follow the link in the description below to see it. It's got a customers table, which has a first name, last name, email, and delivery date field, and a name field, which is made up of the first and last name. And we've got a reviews table, which is made up of a company name, a logo, a rating, a review, and whether or not this has been approved. This is collected through a form that you can send to your customers where they complete the form, and then that form populates our table. We also have a view, which is the approved view, which shows all of the reviews that have been approved by us or by me. And we do that by having it filtered on this approved checkbox, where the approved is checked. Okay, so the next steps, the next things we want to do are we want a template for our social media that will take this data and put it on a template and create an image that we can then post to social media. So let's take a look at how we do that. I'm going to use a tool called Bannerbear. I really love this tool. It's great for creating dynamic images. I'm going to choose a template from their template library. There's a number of templates in here that we can use for review. You can choose one from here, or you can create your own. There is a very simple template, if I can find it here, that I like to use, this one, which is a travel customer review template. Now it's got a background image, and you can have that to be customized to your brand background if you like. But for now, I'm going to change it. I'm going to add it to my project. Okay, so here's our template. I'm going to edit our template and just see what the template is made up of. So in Bannerbear, when we edit a template, we can see that a template is made up of layers. Now, all templates in Bannerbear are made up of layers, and the idea with Bannerbear is that each layer can then be populated through their API, and Zapier has the ability to do this. So here you can see we've got this image layer, which is over here on the left. We've got our layers window. It's called avatar, and then we can see up here it's called avatar on the right hand side. And then we've got some other fields in here like pre-title, pre-title 2, and then we have body text, and then we have star rating, and then we have footer. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking this would be our company logo, this would be the name of the person in the company, this would be the date they posted it, this would be their synopsized review, this would be their star rating, and this would be their company name, based on the data that we have in our Airtable. So I'm going to save that template, and that's what we're going to use. The one thing I want to note about ratings in Bannerbear is that they are made to take a value out of 100. When you pass data in via the API, it needs to be out of 100. So if we go back to our Airtable, we need one new column in here, and we're going to call this rating out of 100. And I'm going to make that a formula field, and I'm going to make it the sum of the rating divided by 5 multiplied by 100, and that will give us our percentage, because it's our rating out of 5 multiplied by 100. So I'll create the field, and here you can see our rating out of 100 is now 80. The next thing we need to do is create a new Zap. So we'll go to Zapier and start working on a new Zap. The first thing we want to do is connect to our Airtable. So we can choose our event from our Airtable, and we can say, okay, we want when a new record enters a view. So what we're doing is we're going to check when a new record enters our reviews table. We want to let's just put it in our reviews table, and that view will be limited to approved. So when anything enters our approved view, and I'll click continue, let's test that trigger. It's going to pull in some content. And here we can see that we've pulled in the review that's in our Airtable. So this is our review, and we've pulled in that data. Okay, I'm going to continue with this. Now there's a couple of things we also need to do. The date needs to be formatted correctly. So the date that's stored in Airtable for the date that this review was created will be a specific format. So we just want to change the format of that. So I'm going to use the format tool in Zapier. I'm going to say create a date and time. So we're working with some date and time. I'm going to transform the date into a specific format. And then the input for that is going to be the created date item from the record that we pulled in from Airtable. So here's the created time. Okay, so that's when the review would have been created by the user through the form that they submitted. And then I'm going to convert this to a format. I'm just going to choose a format from the list. The format I'm going to choose is this one, January 22nd, 2006, written in this format. Okay, and now I'm going to click continue, and then I'm going to test my action on that. And we can see that the input value and this is the output value based on the input value from Airtable. Okay, so let's jump on to our next step. We want to use ChatGPT to summarize the review and then post that. So let's create a new action, and we're going to make it a GPT. Actually, I'm going to try ChatGPT. Okay, so we've got ChatGPT, and then I'm going to say I want to start a conversation. I'm going to click continue. We will connect to our account. You'll need a API key for that. And then I'll come back to the message in a second. We're going to leave our model as GPT Turbo, GPT 3.5 Turbo. You can modify that if you wish. And in this case, the assistant instructions, I'm just going to grab my prompt from another. I was using this on Make. You can also do it on Make, but here's my prompt. You are an expert review editor. Okay, that's what we're going to have as our assistant instructions. So these are some new features in the ChatGPT Zapier integration. You have the ability to choose assistant instructions, and these are instructions for the assistant. And they say, we recommend setting this as something like you're a helpful assistant. So in this case, I'm going to say you're an expert review editor. And our user message is, you will extract the best parts of the following review verbatim so that it is approximately 20 words and it maximizes the positive, inserting ellipsis where appropriate. It should be verbatim. You will not create or insert words that are not in the actual review, and it should not be surrounded with quotation marks. This is just from me running this on a previous project. This is a prompt that I've created. You might want to modify this to suit your needs, and you can test that out in ChatGPT, but this is the prompt that I've created. Now I'm going to grab the actual text of the review from Airtable in this review data item, and now our message to ChatGPT is going to ask it to do this and pass it the review. Okay, I'm going to leave the rest of these settings as is and click continue. Then we'll run a test action, and then our test action will show us here's the content that we're sending, and here's what we'll get back. So here's the content that it has sent back. So it's synopsized this into a short review. Okay, so now what we need to do is generate an image with this content. So I'll create a new step, a new action. I'm going to connect to Bannerbear, and I'm going to say I want to create an image. And I'm going to choose the account that I want to connect it to. I'm going to click continue. Then I'm going to choose my template. And in this case, it was our travel customer template review template. Obviously, you would rename that to be something more specific to your needs. And then in our star rating here, you can see our star rating. We're going to add the value that we calculated in our Airtable, which was out of 100. So it's rating out of 100. We're going to use that. Then for our footer we said was going to be the company name. Our pre-title was going to be the name of the person. Our pre-title 2 was going to be the date that we formatted here, April 17th. The body text we're going to pull from our ChatGPT integration, and we're going to find that here, the assistant response message. We'll choose that. Okay, avatar, we are going to choose the logo from the Airtable. And to find that, we can scroll down here to logo URL. So that's the URL of the file. That is the logo that was uploaded by the user or the reviewer. And then we're going to leave rectangle background and background image URL alone. If you wanted to change the background image, you could also pass another file here or another URL to a file. Or you could just have a plain color background and you can edit that in the template. I'm going to leave it as is for now. So let's click continue. And I'm going to test that action. And in order to see how this works, we can click on, Save Template or Exit Editor. And we can see at the bottom in Bannerbear down here, we've got our preview of images that have been generated for this specific template. And here's the image that was generated for our template. And you can see that it's got our logo. I'll open this in a new tab so we can see it even better. We've got a logo and a name and a date and the review and the number of stars and the company. Okay, so what we can then do is we need to send this to Buffer in order to publish this to social media. So we can click on the plus here and now we can choose Buffer, and then we'll choose an event and we'll say we want to add this to a queue, and then we'll choose our account that we want to add this to once we've connected our Buffer account. And then we'll choose the channel and we're going to put it into an Instagram account, and then we're going to say that it's a post. And then the text we're going to enter is going to be, I'm just going to put in the full review. So I'm going to put from Airtable, the review, and then I'm going to put the person's name. So we want to do name, and then we can do comma, company, and we can leave it like that. So the text of our post will be the review and the person's name and the company. So the media we want to be able to attach as an image, and then we'll scroll down to, actually just underneath it we have the image, and now we have to insert the URL of the image. So the URL will be the image that was generated in Bannerbear. So we'll click on the image in Bannerbear, show all options, and we'll scroll down and we can choose one of these three, either the image URL, the image JPEG, or the image PNG. I have found that the PNGs are of higher quality and avoid any extra compression when you're posting them to social media. So I'll choose the image URL PNG. And then method, what we want to do is we can either schedule it now or schedule it in the future. So I'm going to schedule the post, and I'm going to say the schedule time is +1 hour. And this is really cool in Zapier. We can kind of add time relative to now. I'm just going to say posted in +1 hour. And then I'm going to click continue. And then I'm going to test that action. I'm going to go into Buffer, and I'm in my account, and I'm going to refresh. You don't need to refresh, but I'm just refreshing. And here we can see it's been created. And here's our post that's going to go out in an hour. Here is the body of the post, and we can see the image that's going to be posted. And we can either choose to share it now or wait for it to be scheduled in 1 hour. And that's our review completed. Now you could add a new column in here for whether or not it's been published to social media or not. And then when this is done, you could update the table to show that it's been published to social media. And then you could have a list of items that have been published to social media and those that haven't. In order to finish this, you would rename your Zap up here by calling it post review to Buffer. And you could click save or publish, and then that would publish and turn on your review. And then anytime you would add a new review to your table, it would run through and generate an image and post it at whatever schedule you want, whether it's an hour from now, 10 days from now, whatever it is, you could then schedule it to be published to your social media. Okay, so that's it for this video. What we looked at was, okay, we'd already, with Gareth Pronavot's video from Gap Consulting, been able to see how you could collect and automate the collection of reviews for your business. In this case, what we're looking at is how do I take those reviews and post them to social media. And we did that by running them through a Zap. And that Zap helped us to synopsize the review in case it was really long. And then we use Bannerbear to generate an image for that review. And then we use Buffer to post that review to social media, all using Zapier as the automation platform. If you're interested in videos like this and other automation videos, please comment below or subscribe, and we'll have a couple of more coming up.